Listen up, I understand more than anyone how important it is to enjoy yourself and enjoy your life and not be super strict and regimented. However, today we're going to talk about how alcohol might be making you fat. Let's talk about it. It's just a little bit harder. How did you make it like not even being Welcome back to the channel, guys. Simanga Michael Njapa here. I'm a personal trainer and an online coach. Like I said, we're going to talk about how alcohol could be making you fat. Obviously, the title of the video is probably going to be something dramatic like alcohol's making you fat. Just to get straight into it, the number one thing that I want you guys to think about is when you're working towards a body composition goal or a weight loss goal, your calories in and your calories out are going to be super important. Probably the most important thing to determine which way you're going. It's not that simple, of course. I always share that these things have nuance. However, I train a lot of people and I've trained a lot of people and I know of a lot of people who find it difficult to reach their body composition and fitness goals because of their blind side, let's say, with alcohol. So let's talk about it. Number one, the calorie content of alcohol. So alcohol tends to be a little bit more dense than a lot of macronutrients out there. So macronutrients, when I say macronutrients, I'm talking about carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Although alcohol isn't more dense in terms of a calorie to carb ratio, more so than fats, it is more dense than protein and it is more dense than carbohydrates. So what I mean by this is 1 gram of carbohydrates is going to give you 4 calories, and a gram of protein also 4 calories. When you look at alcohol, 1 gram of alcohol is gonna give you 7. With that in mind, you can see how if you continue to up the grams, how much more the amount of calories are gonna escalate from a gram to gram or calorie to calorie perspective from carbs and proteins and alcohol on the side. So basically what I'm trying to say is because of that, it's easy for people to go over their calorie goal or calorie ceiling for the day or the week or whatever, and then end up being like, I'm drinking just a little bit on the weekend. What you think is a little bit. I'm drinking just a little bit on the weekend, but I'm still not losing weight. I'm still not moving towards my goal. It's probably because your calorie budget, whatever it is, that amount of alcohol that you're consuming and possibly over consuming is putting you over. Therefore, you're either remaining in the same place or moving backwards, which is super dangerous. And obviously it doesn't help because then you feel like you're working hard and you're not getting to where you want to get, and you just get discouraged, and it's just like a whole vicious cycle. So just be aware of that. Calories matter for body composition goals, and alcohol, especially if it's not monitored well, can put you over your calorie budget, and therefore you're not seeing your body move in the direction you want it to move. Number 2, the next thing is empty calories. And what I mean very simply by empty calories are, you know, when you have something that is nice, but you know how people say wine does this for you, wine thins your blood, and wine does all this other great stuff. Empty calories basically means something that doesn't necessarily get you closer to your goal. Too much wine obviously will get you further away from your goal, but it's the hard thing for people, I think, also besides changing their habits, is also knowing how much is too much. Without me having looked at a study or a review or anything like that from a site or anything, I just, from my experience, a glass or 2, and not even a day, a glass or 2 a week should be okay. It's just that people, when they have that glass or 2, they end up doing too much and ending up having the whole bottle or a bottle and a half, or you know, just it ends up being too much. Especially if your goal is, the stricter your goal, the more strict you kind of should be. Yeah, just be wary of that. Not just, I suppose, with alcohol, but all food that you intake. If your food or the alcohol or whatever, if you're being objective and you honestly think about it, is it getting me closer to my goal? if it's not getting me closer to my goal, moving me further away. And that's probably not what you're trying to do. And you have to be honest with yourself in terms of, if that's what you want to do right now and drink or whatever, fine. I'm not going to tell you that you can't drink, but don't be the one who also cries about your progress not moving fast enough, because also you're the one who's kind of slowing it down. Okay, you got to be honest with yourself about that. Hey y'all, remember that starter pack program I told you guys about? Well, it's finally ready. So the starter pack program, just in case you might have missed it, is a program that I made for someone who's starting out in the gym, really doesn't know what to do. They want to gain muscle, they want to lose some sort of body fat, and they just really don't know how to go about the process. So that is an awesome program to just start you off and then send you in the right direction. So in that program, you will find 40+ video library. There's a bunch of other resources that talk about meals, diets, supplementation, stretches, what stretches to do before, what stretches to do after, as well as voiceovers during the actual videos to tell you and cue you on how to do the movements properly. That thing is comprehensive, guys. I spent a long time doing it and preparing it. So it's, like I said, it's ready for you guys. So if you're ready to take your fitness to the next level and finally make that jump, be sure to comment in the video, starter, and I'll make sure I'll send it to you. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, subject number 3 is alcohol can slow down your metabolism. As much as this is not a permanent thing where if you drink some sort of alcohol forever, your metabolism will be slow or whatever, what happens with this is because you're intaking something that your body effectively sees as poison, your body directs a lot of energy and calories, energy, to slow down and break down the alcohol. And therefore, when it's focusing on that, a lot of other things get neglected. Not necessarily not that they're not done, the bodily functions that need to be done, but because it's focusing so much on breaking the alcohol down and getting this poison out of your system, other things don't function as optimally. And especially, like I said, if you're in a phase where you're trying to hit a body composition goal or weight loss goal, things like you're being built up and recovering optimally and your fat being burnt as it should be, things like that aren't given preference, because your body's like, okay, this is gonna hurt the system, we need to focus on this first. And as much as that might not be a huge thing in terms of it being it lasting forever or lasting for a week or whatever, if you drink alcohol often enough, you can imagine how that happens either every day or twice a day or every other day. It's just happening. So then you can't necessarily expect your body composition goal or your weight loss goal to actually manifest itself, because you're constantly fighting against that process, and you're constantly working backwards. Okay, point number 4, alcohol can negatively affect your appetite and your food choices. So what I mean by this one is, because alcohol is a poison, like we discussed earlier, it can negatively affect your hormones, your satiety hormones, these hormones being leptin, ghrelin. It can skew them. There's no question about that. It can skew them, and because when they're skewed, they're almost impaired now they don't work properly. And even though you're not hungry, you might want to eat, you might want to binge. And let's say if you're in a bar or a club setting, you're probably not going to make good food choices. You're probably going to eat whatever sloppy chips they have there, whatever sloppy buffalo wings with ranch dip, whatever, you know. So it's just a double whammy of, because your hormones are skewed now, you also want to eat something, and you're probably not gonna whip out a salad and have alcohol in the salad, you know what I mean? And also because you're in an environment of bad food, it's just gonna be a triple whammy where you're just gonna make bad food choices and effectively move yourself further away from the goal that you said you wanted. Okay. One more, the bonus point for this video is your sleep. Alcohol, as much as people think if I drink, I just, I pass out and I'm good. Believe it or not, passing out is not good. You actually want to go into sleep, into a deep sleep. There are stages of sleep. But anyways, my point being is alcohol can absolutely negatively impact your sleep. And because it can affect your hormones can affect your sleep, and vice versa. So when you're not rested and you don't sleep well, that again is gonna affect or negatively affect your body composition goals, your weight loss, your muscle gain, amount of mental clarity that you have. You ever tried, you had a bad night's sleep and then you go into the gym and you're just like, you're not there mentally, you're not there in terms of your strength. You go to work literally after your training session or before, depending on what time of the day you train, and you just know that no, that night of sleep I had is the reason why I'm not in this meeting, I'm not in this call, whatever. So like we've talked about on previous videos, and I'm gonna see if I can link something up here about the recovery video, the sleep, all that kind of stuff. Sleep is super important, guys. Like, it legit is one of those things that can just improve a lot of your health markers. And so if it's also not in place and in the right place, health markers are gonna move in the wrong direction, further exacerbating everything that we've talked about. Right, that is the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you give it a thumbs up, comment at the bottom of the comment section, and follow me on Instagram. I will be on there. DM me if you need to ask me anything or you just want to connect. And I will see you guys in the next one.